What's up, everybody? Welcome back. There's been a lot of amazing fire type options in Season 3. There's Fire Blast Alolan Marowak, there's We Create Victini, and even Fire Fang Mawile as well, even though that isn't exactly a fire type. But you can't forget about the OG fire type Charizard. So, in these set of battles, I decided to put Charizard to the test in the current Season 3 meta and see how it performs. And to be honest, it actually worked really well. And that's because of the rising number of grass and steel types in the meta. So many teams are not prepared to deal with fire types because fire types aren't very common, which is why I think this could be the perfect time to bring Charizard back into the mix. And there's a reason why people don't use Charizard as much in Great League, and that's because it's extremely glassy. But it actually works well in this particular team composition, and that's because Meganium provides great protection against Charizard's weaknesses to water and electric types. And Azumarill is a fantastic addition to any Great League team composition, and it's basically the glue that holds this team together. And also provides coverage against Altaria and other dragon types, which both Meganium and Charizard would struggle against. So, some really exciting battles in here, and let's just get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here. And this shiny Charizard actually has pretty decent PvP IVs. Meganium and Azumarill not so much, but we can work with it for now. So we have Charizard into Drifblim. So this is a pretty neutral matchup. I actually did the sims for this matchup after this game, and Charizard actually wins in all even shielding scenarios. So I'm just going to go straight for the Dragon Claw here because I want to get off a charge move before getting debuffed. Let's see if they decide to shield this up. They let that go through, which is understandable. They were probably counting there, and they are overfarming quite a bit. So I'm just going to go straight for the Dragon Claw. This should definitely get the shield from the Drifblim because they have a lot of loaded energy at this point. They do shield that up, so charge move coming through. I'm just going to shield this up because, like I said, Charizard is extremely frail, and you're going to basically have to shield everything. And we make a simultaneous switch into Azumarill. So I probably could have waited a second longer because then I could have come in with my Meganium. And that's exactly why this team comp is built in this way, because so many people like to switch their Azu into my Charizard. You have Meganium in the back to counter it. But this is not a great situation because it seems as if we're slightly behind on energy. We're probably one bubble behind on energy. So that's not great. And also I have to worry about that Drifblim having loaded energy because I know they switched out with quite a bit of energy there. So I'm just gonna, I really want to win switch advantage because Meganium would really struggle going up against Drifblim, but doesn't really look like we can win switch advantage at this point, especially if we're not going to commit any shields in this matchup, which I don't plan to because I want to save a shield for my Charizard. And yeah, at this point, I'm probably gonna go straight for the Ice Beam here, and I'm really hoping that this Ice Beam takes out this Azumarill. Probably not going to take it out. They're probably going to still survive with a little bit of HP as they do there. And charge move coming through. This is probably just going to be an Ice Beam, but we're probably just about in Ice Beam range right now. And yeah, it almost takes us out, but unfortunately the subsequent bubble takes us out. So they probably have better PvP IVs there, but it's all good. I'm going to come in with Charizard because I don't want to reveal what my final Pokemon is. And let's see what they decide to bring in here. They're going to come in with their Drifblim, and I'm going to shield this up. I have to preserve the health on my Charizard because, like I said, Meganium would struggle going up against Drifblim, and they make a switch into their Galarian Stunfisk. I'm going to build up a little extra energy and then switch into my Meganium here. Now, Meganium is a pretty positive matchup against Galarian Stunfisk because those mud shots are resisted, and charge move coming through, and it's going to be an Earthquake. I'm not sure if that's the right move. In this matchup, you probably want to be going for Rock Slides because that's going to be neutral, whereas Earthquake would be resisted. And even though both Rock Slide and Earthquake do almost the same damage, Rock Slide is definitely more energy efficient, right? And I'm just going to go straight Frenzy Plants in this matchup because, yeah, Frenzy Plant's probably going to take it out from this range if it goes unshielded. They do give up the final shield. This is absolutely perfect. And nothing is going to take out Meganium from this range. We're still going to survive with a little bit HP here. And yes, we still survive. And at this point, their switch time is probably back up. And that's why they switch into their Drifblim. And I'm going to come in with Charizard and go straight for the Dragon Claw here. So Dragon Claw should definitely finish off this Drifblim. And I know that Stunfisk doesn't have too much loaded energy. And I'm really hoping I can Fire Spin the Stunfisk down, which I'm able to do and take the win there. So as you can see, Charizard pretty much came in super clutch towards end there. I mean, I guess if the Stunfisk had gone for Rock Slides in that Meganium matchup, it might have been a little closer. But we probably had that game anyways, but it would have definitely made it a little closer there. But anyways, moving into the second battle, we have Charizard into Registeel. Absolutely fantastic lead here. This is perfect. And they make a switch into their Azumarill. I'm going to go into Meganium. This is the best case scenario. And this is exactly like I mentioned. This is so many people just like to throw their Azu in there, and which is exactly why you have Meganium in the back. And Charizard is basically the trap to lure out their Azu so that I can sort of match it up with my Meganium. And this is pretty straightforward at this point. I typically don't shield my first for the first charge move from Azumarill, but I do shield that up on this particular occasion. But they could have an Altaria in the back. I'm really hoping they don't. But they have a Shiftry in the back. This is absolutely fine, right? Even though Frenzy Plant is resisted, it would still do quite a bit of damage because Shiftry is glassy. And this is a great situation to be in because Charizard is absolutely going to melt this backline here because both Shiftry and Registeel are going to be weak to fire. And yeah, I'm just going to go straight for the next Frenzy Plant. They are over farming quite a bit. This should definitely get the shield from the Shiftry, which is perfect. And we are on even shields right now. And I'm not going to shield anything. It's going to basically take 2 charge moves for the Shiftry to get rid of my Meganium because Meganium is extremely bulky there. Foul Play doing heavy neutral damage. And that was extremely good counting on their part. They throw the charge move on the CMP there. A Leaf Blade is going to definitely finish off Meganium, which is absolutely fine. We can just come in with Charizard here. And I'm going to shield this up because Foul Play would do heavy neutral damage. Whereas everything from Registeel would be resisted anyways. And they make a switch into the Registeel. I'm going to go straight for the Blast Burn. I'm not even going to bait in this matchup because their only win condition would be if I bait and fail the bait. So this gets the shield, which is absolutely fine. And at this point, I'm trying to switch into my Azumarill to catch the Flash Cannon here, but we don't get it in time. It's absolutely fine. Everything is going to be resisted unless they have Hyper Beam, which doesn't seem like they do. And I'm just going to go straight for the Blast Burn here. Blast Burn is definitely going to one-shot the Registeel from this range because it's doing super effective damage because of the steel typing. And yeah, we have a little bit of lag right here and it takes it out. And it's pretty straightforward here because a couple of Fire Spins should get rid of the Shiftry and that's sealed the deal there. So as you can see, so many people like to have steel types and grass types in the same team. And it's a very sort of solid and reliable team comp as well. A steel type, a grass type, and an Azu. That's a very common team. And then once that Azu is out of the way, Charizard can basically go to town on the rest of the lineup, right? And that's why I think it's a fantastic opportunity to sort of bring Charizard back into the mix in Season 3. So we have met with an Alolan Muk, a pretty neutral matchup, but they're going to be able to get to Dark Pulse quicker than we can get to Blast Burn. And I was trying to switch into my Azumarill to catch the Dark Pulse, but we don't get it in time. So I'm just going to shield this up. And I'll try and switch on the next Dark Pulse. I'm just going to go straight for the Blast Burn here. I'm really hoping they let this go through, thinking it's a Dragon Claw bait. But they do shield that up, which is absolutely fine. And now I'm going to try and switch into my Azumarill and we switch just in time here. So Dark Pulse is going to be resisted because of the Fairy typing. And we got the switch just in time because Sludge Wave would have done super effective damage because of the Fairy typing again. And they're probably going to go for the Sludge Wave right now. And we lose the CMP there. And this is probably going to be a Sludge Wave because they did 5 Snarls. And I'm going to shield this up because it would take Azumarill out. And they make a really nice dirty swap on the CMP to their own Azumarill to catch the charge move. It always feels good when you do it, but when you're on the receiving end of it, it's obviously very frustrating, but it is what it is. It's okay. Yeah, I'm hoping they don't have Play Rough at this point because that would be really bad for my Azumarill. And they have Hydro Pump as well, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to go, yeah, at this point, because we're slightly off in terms of our switch timing, I'm going to be able to come in with Meganium and throw the Frenzy Plant before their switch timer comes back up. And Charge Move coming through, Ice Beam doing super effective damage because of the grass typing. And I'm really trying to get to this Frenzy Plant before their switch timer comes back up. Now we're able to get it in time. This should either get their final shield or take out the Azumarill. It gets their shield, which is understandable. Now it's just a race to the Charge Move. I'm really hoping that I can get to a Frenzy Plant before Dark Pulse comes through, but I think we lose the CMP there. And yeah, this is going to take out my Meganium here. And I was actually thinking, what should I come in with? Because I know I have loaded energy on my Azumarill, so I'm just going to come in with Azumarill and throw the Ice Beam right away here. I know that I need to preserve my Azumarill for their Azumarill as well, but we're going to have to see how this plays out. And they're going to come in with Registeel. I'm going to come in with Charizard here. Now remember, their switch timer is still not back up, so I'm just going to go straight for the Blast Burn here. Blast Burn is going to pretty much one-shot the Registeel from this range, and yeah, takes it out. That this is perfect. At this point, this is where I make a key mistake here. I probably should have gone straight for the Blast Burn. But I throw the Dragon Claw because I thought they were close to an Ice Beam or something, but I should have realized that they were trying to farm me down. And there was no use throwing the Dragon Claw there. I mean, I should have definitely gone for the Blast Burn, and that ended up kind of costing me the game here. So Charge Move coming through is going to be Hydro Pump. It's going to put my Azumarill pretty low here. And yeah, I'm trying to get to a Hydro Pump as well, but I know I can't get it in time, so I'm just going to go straight for the Ice Beam. And this Ice Beam isn't going to take out the Azumarill, right? So that extra damage from Blast Burn would have definitely mattered in this matchup, because if I had thrown the Blast Burn and gotten that damage off, then this Ice Beam would have KO'd the Azumarill. That would have made all the difference there. So yeah, Definitely a slight misplay from my part, but these things happen. Let's see if we can make a comeback here. We are 2-1 in the set right now. So we have Charizard into Shadow Victreebel. This is beautiful. This is absolutely perfect. Charizard is going to melt this thing here. And they are still staying in this matchup. So I'm just going to go straight for the Dragon Claw, but they make a really nice switch on the charge move to Azumarill, right? Dragon Claw is double resisted because of the Fairy typing. And I'm going to switch into my Meganium here. Again, like I said, so many people like to switch their Azumarill into my Charizard, and that is best case scenario. And I'm just going to go straight for the Frenzy Plant here. And let's see if they decide to shield this up. They let it go through, absolutely fine. Because they let it go through, I'm going to let this go through as well. And I'm going to completely farm this Azumarill down and come out of this matchup with a lot of loaded energy, right? And I'm really hoping they don't have a flyer in the back. And yeah, we have a lot of loaded energy. Let's see what they decide to bring in here. They're going to come in with Flygon. This is absolutely perfect. Now, Flygon is going to take heavy neutral damage from Frenzy Plant because of the Dragon Ground typing, and also it's extremely glassy as well. And they're going to basically have to throw a charge move, right? Because those Mud Shots are resisted. Charge move coming through. This is probably going to be a Dragon Claw, which is going to finish off my Meganium. It's absolutely fine. I'm going to let it go through because we can just come in with Azumarill here. Azumarill has a pretty positive matchup against Flygon because Flygon is double weak to Ice because of the Dragon Ground typing. Charge move coming through, and Earthquake does heavy neutral damage there, and I'm expecting a switch. They make a switch into their Victreebel, and I'm going to come into Charizard and just delete that thing there. So I was expecting the switch there, and they're going to come back in with Flygon. I'm going to go straight for the Dragon Claw. This is going to do super effective damage because of the Dragon typing. And let's see if they decide to shield this up. They let that go through, which is understandable because they're probably worried about an Ice Beam from Azumarill. And I'm going to shield this up as well because at this point we can just Fire Spin farm this Flygon down. So Fire Spin, yeah, they still have a shield, but that doesn't really matter. We're able to take the win there. So that was actually pretty straightforward. I think we won the lead pretty hard there, and that made it so much more easier. So let's see what happens when you lose the lead, right? Because that's going to be tricky. So we have Charizard into Azumarill. So how do you play out this matchup? So I'm just going to safe switch into Azumarill here and let's see what happens. But they make a switch into their Meganium. So this is not looking great, right? We are getting hard countered right off the back here. And I'm going to go straight for the Ice Beam. This is going to do super effective damage because of the grass typing. And they shield that up. That is huge. That's going to make all the difference in this game. That's going to allow me to flip this matchup because I'm going to let this go through. There's no point shielding in this matchup. And they're going to farm us down and come out of this matchup with a lot of loaded energy because now my Charizard can farm this Meganium down, right? Because everything is going to be resisted because of the fire flying typing. And Charge Move coming through. I'm not going to shield this. It's an Earthquake and that still does quite a bit of damage, right? It does about 40% of Charizard's health for being resisted. And that's because just Charizard is so glassy. And yeah, just going to go straight for the Dragon Claw because I don't want to eat another charge move here. But unfortunately, Dragon Claw doesn't finish off the Meganium and they're able to get to another charge move. And this is unfortunate. I probably could have farmed down all the way anyways, but it's only a Frenzy Plant which is double resisted because of the Fire Flying typing. And they make a switch into their Azumarill and I'm going to come in with Meganium here. And I noticed that they haven't switched out of this matchup yet, which tells me they have something in the back which doesn't do great against Meganium. So they are still staying in this matchup. So I'm just going to overfarm a little bit and then throw the Frenzy Plant here. And let's see if they decide to shield this up. Again, they do shield that up. So this tells me they have something in the back which is not great against Meganium. So I'm just going to shield this up as well. And yeah, we still have a potential sack option with Charizard in the back. And they have a Registeel in the back. This is absolutely perfect. I'm going to go straight for the Earthquake here. It's going to do super effective damage against Registeel because of the Steel typing. And I'm going to try and switch into my Charizard to catch the Flash Cannon. Let's see if we can get it in time. And I'm able to switch to Charizard just in time to catch the Flash Cannon here. We do waste a little bit of energy, but it's absolutely fine because Meganium can clean up right now. And I'm going to come back in with Meganium and go straight for the Frenzy Plant here. And even though this is resisted, it should definitely take out Registeel from this range. And it's pretty much GG's at this point because because Meganium is not in Ice Beam range yet. And even if they throw an Ice Beam, it's not going to take us out. But we're able to get to a Frenzy Plant just in time here. And this should definitely finish off the Azumarill. So Meganium is an absolutely solid closer towards endgame, especially because it breaks that Registeel Azumarill core and also can handle Galarian Stunfisk as well. And when you have Meganium in the back, it's just such a solid option. So as you can see, we went 4-1 in this set. Pretty solid set overall. I did make it rank 8 with about 20 to 30 MMR and then tanked about 60 to 70 battle rating points because I was experimenting with a bunch of weird teams and trying to build my score back up. But I've been trying a lot of interesting teams which I'll be showcasing in some of my coming videos as well. So stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.